Hey everyone, and welcome! Today we are diving deep into one of biology's most incredible engineering feats, how plants manage to move water and food around. It's an amazing story.
But hey, before we get started, if you find this explainer helpful for your O-levels, please take a second to like the video and subscribe to Spotwork Learning. It honestly helps us a ton. Okay, let's get into it.
So let's kick things off with a real head-scratcher. Look at this redwood tree. It's a staggering 116 meters tall. That's taller than a 30-story skyscraper. So the big question is, how on earth do these giants get water from their roots, deep in the ground, all the way to their highest leaves, fighting gravity every single second of every day?
Well, the secret lies in an absolutely brilliant internal transport system. The best way to think about it is like a city's highway network, perfectly designed to move all the essential supplies exactly where they need to go.
This network has two main highways. On the left, you've got the Xylem. That's the dedicated water pipeline. And on the right, you have the Phloem, which is kind of like the plant's personal food delivery service.
Let's take a closer look at the xylem. Its design is pure genius. It's basically a continuous, hollow tube made of cells that are actually dead. They're joined end to end, and their walls are reinforced with a super tough, waterproof substance called lignin. This not only gives the plant crucial support, but also creates a perfect, non-stop straw stretching all the way from the roots up.
Now, the phloem, that's a whole different story. This system is made of living cells. Its job is to move all that energy-rich food like sucrose and amino acids from the leaves, where it's all made during photosynthesis, to literally any other part of the plant that needs it for energy or for storage.
So how exactly does that gravity-defying trip up the xylem actually work? Come on, let's follow a single water molecule on its epic journey from the soil all the way to the top of the plant.
Okay, our journey starts deep underground at the roots. Now, these roots are covered in millions of tiny little root hairs, which create a massive surface area for soaking things up. The liquid inside these root hairs is more concentrated than the water in the soil, and this difference is the key. It pulls water into the root through that fundamental process we call osmosis.
So now, our water molecule is inside the xylem. And here's the part that might blow your mind. The water isn't pushed up from the bottom like you'd expect. No, it's actually pulled from the top. See, water molecules really like to stick to each other, a property we call cohesion. This makes them form an unbroken chain, like beads on a string, all the way up the stem. But where does this incredible pull come from? Well, it's all happening in the leaves. Water moves out of the xylem and forms a thin film on the surface of the leaf cells. This water then evaporates, and the water vapor escapes through tiny little pores called stomata. And because of cohesion, as one water molecule leaves, it tugs on the next one, pulling the entire chain up right behind it, all the way from the roots. And this whole process, this loss of water vapor from the leaves, has a name. It's called transpiration. You have to remember this one, because transpiration is the engine that powers the entire upward flow of water. This transpiration pull is an incredibly powerful suction force that can draw water to amazing heights. And the best part is, the plant doesn't use any of its own energy to do it. Now, the speed of this engine isn't always the same. It's totally controlled by the weather. So think about it. On a hot, windy day, transpiration is going to speed up like crazy. And when the air is really dry, that means low humidity, water evaporates from the leaves way faster, pulling even more water up from the roots. But what happens if this engine runs too fast? I'm sure you've seen this happen. If a plant loses water through transpiration faster than its roots can drink it up, its cells lose their internal water pressure, their turgidity. They go all limp, and the plant wilts. All right, so that's the water highway. A pretty amazing one-way street from the ground up, right? But plants don't just need water, they need food. So now let's switch gears and check out that second highway, the phloem, to get the full picture of how these amazing organisms work. So the process of moving all those sugars, mainly sucrose, from where they're made to wherever they're needed is called translocation. And this all happens in that second highway system we talked about, the phloem. To really get how this works, you just need to understand the idea of a source and a sink. It's actually pretty simple. A source is just where the sugar is made or released from. Usually that's a leaf doing photosynthesis. A sink is anywhere that needs to use or store that sugar, like the roots for energy, fruits to make them sweet, or new buds that need fuel to grow.
And this is where it gets really, really cool. Unlike the xylem, which is strictly a one-way street going up, the phloem system is incredibly flexible. The roles of source and sink can actually reverse. Take the baobab tree. In the wet season, its leaves are the source, sending sugar down to the trunk for storage. But in the dry season, when the leaves are gone, the trunk becomes the source, sending that stored sugar up to grow brand new leaves. How smart is that?
Okay, we've covered a lot, so let's put it all together and do a quick head-to-head comparison of our two highways. This is going to be perfect for locking it all in for your revision. This table lays it all out beautifully. Just look at the key differences. The direction of flow, just one way in the xylem, but it can go both ways in the phloem. And check out the driving force. It's a passive pull for transpiration in the xylem versus an active process that actually requires energy for translocation in the phloem. Seriously, you might want to grab a screenshot of this one for your notes.
So let's go all the way back to our giant redwood. Now you can see how it pulls off this incredible feat. Its very survival depends on these two systems working in perfect harmony. The blue lines show the xylem, pulling water against gravity to the highest leaves, and the green lines show the phloem, acting as a dynamic delivery service, making sure every single part of the tree gets the energy it needs to live.
It's just an incredible piece of natural engineering, isn't it? Connecting the earth to the sky, all powered by the sun. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. What can our own engineers still learn from this silent, solar-powered system that plants perfected millions of years ago?
We really hope this deep dive into plant transport has been helpful for you. If it has, please do us a huge favor and like this explainer. And of course, subscribe to Spotwork Learning for more.
We've got more O-level biology explainers coming your way very soon, so stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching.